We don't know all the rules yet. We don't know how everything's going to interact with each other. We cannot even begin to imagine what the meta is going to be yet. So we need to just take these, enjoy what we get, see what we have, make guesses for sure. But it's not all doom and gloom. You know, it's going to be okay. The game has never really been balanced. It's going to find an equilibrium. Next up, we have Chaos Demons, the Legions of the Dark Gods. They're cool. I talked about earlier how I was starting to get into World Eaters, so, you know, I got some Bloodletters. And also, Bloodletters are interesting in Kill Team. Pretty fun there. But the army rule is the Shadow of Chaos. Your deployment zone is always within your army Shadow of Chaos, which is really cool. At the start of any phase, if you control at least half of the objective markers within No Man's Land, till the end of that phase, No Man's Land is within your army Shadow of Chaos. At the start of any phase, if you control at least half of the objective markers within your opponent's deployment zone, till the end of that phase, their deployment zone is also within your Shadow of Chaos. So, hey, your deployment zone, that's mine now. No Man's Land, that's mine now. Because while a Legionis Demonica unit from your army is within your army's Shadow of Chaos, each time that unit takes a Battle Shock test, add 1 to that test, and if the test is passed, 1 model of that unit regains up to D3 lost wounds. And just like reanimation protocols, it can return models to the board. Also, while an enemy unit is within your army's Shadow of Chaos, each time that unit takes a Battle Shock test, subtract 1 from that test, and if the test has failed, they suffer D3 mortal wounds. I can see people being like, man, I just want to play big monsters for demons. I don't want to play a bunch of infantry. But this is so cool to me. So fluffy, so wonderful. I just want to run demons across the board and capture objectives to make the whole board the Shadow of Chaos. I think that's really cool. I like that a lot. And then the detachment rule is Warp Rifts. Each time a Legionis Demonica unit from your army is set up on the battlefield using the Deep Strike ability, if it's set up wholly within your army's Shadow of Chaos, it can be set up anywhere that is more than 6 inches horizontally away from all enemy models instead of more than 9. So you can also Deep Strike into your Shadow of Chaos, which is just... heck yeah, that's super cool. Love that. And they also have Demonic Pact, as if we didn't have enough cool stuff here. If every model from your army has the Chaos keyword, you can include Legionis Demonica units in your army, even if they do not have the faction keyword you selected in the Select Army Faction step. The combined points cost of such units you can include depends on your battle size, as shown below. If it's an incursion game, you can only use 250. If it's a strike force, 500, onslaught, 750. None of them can be your warlord. They cannot be given enhancements. In addition, if your army's world leaders, you can only use Khorne, Thousand Sons Tzeentch, Death Guard Nurgle. This was the interesting one, and I think it's because Emperor's Children doesn't have its own full faction yet in the rules, though I would love to see some Noise Marines on the table. If your warlord's Lucius, you can only take Slaanesh. But really cool that if I'm playing a 2,000-point game, I can bring 750 points of Chaos Demons, of Khorne, specifically Khorne Demons. That's cool. I like that. We can see Keeper of Secrets. Pretty cool, pretty solid. 18 wounds, 14-inch move. Got some pretty good damage on here. I like the aura that it has here, which is basically that you get to improve the armor penetration of melee weapons because it's Slaanesh. It's very thematic. That's all I'm going to say about that. And then each time an attack targets this model, subtract 1 from the hit roll because it's got a mesmerizing form. It makes sense. I like it. I like it. And it's got Shining Aegis. It's just a cool sheet. I'm not a big Slaanesh guy. I don't ever see myself collecting Slaanesh. The most I might get is some Demonettes to be able to play in Kill Team. But it makes sense. It's a good data sheet for Slaanesh. Then we can see Be'lakor. He's the big boy. He's got some really good stuff. Witchfire and Focused Witchfire. The Blades of Shadows. He's got Shadow Form abilities, as you expect. He's cool. He's solid. Start the battle round, select 1 Shadow Form ability. And of course, you have Wreathed in Shadows, Pall of Despair, and Shadow Lord. And reroll Battle Shock and Leadership test for the unit. Again, you're going to want to do that if you're already in the Shadow of the Warp or Shadow Chaos. Shadow Warp's a different thing. Shadow Chaos, so that you get those extra wounds back on your allies. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I like this a lot. it doesn't make me want to buy Be'lakor. But if I was going to run Demons, I probably would get Be'lakor, right? It seems like what you would want to do. I'm probably just going to get some more Khorne Demons to supplement my World Eaters, but it's cool. I like it. Then, of course, we have the Bioblade here, which is, you know, just as gross as you would think. It has extra attacks. A weapon with extra attack in the profile is known as extra attack weapons. Each time the bearer of such a weapon fights, it can make attacks with that weapon in addition to the one it chooses to fight with. The number of attacks made with extra weapon attacks cannot be modified by other rules. So, just, hey, you also get to do these. Isn't that cool? And then we get to see a Slaughter and Carnage from Scarbrand, but it's really any Khorne Demon Prince. Solid stuff. Solid stuff. And then for the stratagem, corrupt real space. Start at any command phase. One Demons unit from your army that's within range of objective marker. The objective marker is said to be corrupted and remains under your control even if you have no models within range of it, so your opponent controls it at the start or end of any turn. In addition, while an objective marker is corrupted, the area of the battlefield within 6 inches of that objective marker is considered to be within your army's Shadow of Chaos. So you don't get sticky objectives for free, but for the price of 1 CP, you get sticky objectives, and you get to have that to deep strike from and to roll healing battle shock tests or to roll damaging battle shock tests. It's really cool. It's really thematic. It's very good. And they chose Demon World for the book. Demons are in a really cool place so far. Then we have Sisters. And we still have so many of these to go. Okay, Sisters. I think we're probably going to break this video up, actually, and try to do it in multiple videos. I like Sisters a lot. I originally was going to collect Sisters in 8th. As you saw earlier from the codex that I pulled up, I like Sisters. They're cool. I did not wind up collecting Sisters because I went with Blood Angels instead. And now my wife collects Sisters. So it all worked out. I like Sisters a lot. I think their models are really cool. They have Acts of Faith, which gives them Miracle Dice, just like in 9th edition. But the way that they get these Miracle Dice is really interesting. So at the start of each turn, you gain 1 Miracle Dice. Every time a Sororitas unit from your army is destroyed, you gain a Miracle Die. There are some other ways to get it too, but we're going to see it again later on with the Eldar. Craft World Eldar anyway. Sisters doesn't get a lot of Miracle Dice at first, but they continue to gain them over the course of the game. And for anybody that doesn't know, Miracle Dice are where you get to roll the D6, you keep that value, hold on to it until you need it, and you can use that number instead, which is really good. Now, this is great, what they've changed with the army rule. Performing an Act of Faith, before making a dice roll, if you have 1 or more dice in your Miracle Dice pool, that unit can act, if it has the Acts of Faith ability, I should say, can perform an Act of Faith. If it does, select 1 of the dice from your Miracle Dice, substitute the dice roll. If a roll involves more than 1 dice, only a single dice can be substituted, charging your Battle Shock testing. The dice that's substituted is not rolled. You just use the value, of course. And they can only be selected for substitution once, and then you must discard them. Once you've made all your substitution, remove the Miracle Dice from your pool, roll all remaining dice. There you go. You can use Miracle Dice when a unit performs an Act of Faith for any of the following types: advancing, Battle Shock tests, charging, damage, hit roll, saving wound, wound roll, and saving throw. That's great. You just use them for anything, basically. So you build them up, burn them, use them. Burn them is very thematic for the Sisters. Their detachment rule is Blood of Martyrs. Each time a Sororitas model from your army makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll if that model's unit is below its starting strength, and add 1 to the wound roll as well if that model's unit is below half strength. For the purposes of this ability, if a unit has starting strength of 1, it's considered to be below its starting strength while it has lost 1 or more wounds. So, just for the entire army, through this detachment, yeah, you get to add 1 to your hit roll and 1 to your wound roll. Hit roll if you're below starting, wound roll if you're below half. Very, very solid. Very, very solid. We can see the Triumph, which has a lot of really cool abilities. Feel no pains, rapid fire, adding 1 to rapid fire. Melee weapons gain lethal hits. Any number of Act of Faith per phase instead of just 1. Aura, 6-inch aura, that's really good. Improving leadership. Miracle Dice you gain as a result is automatically a 6 if a unit within 6 inches is destroyed, if you chose that one. It's really good. Damage-wise, it's not all that great. It's solid, but it's not like super great or anything. You're not going to write home about it, but it's these abilities that make it really good. And I did see some people upset because they said that, oh, great, now we're all going to be Order of Valorous Heart. Well, no, first off, it's our martyred lady is St. Catherine, and we already were Valorous Heart or Bloody Rose. Those were the two that people picked. Our martyred lady, first off, why is that a bad thing that you get these cool things for St. Catherine? I'm sure there's for the other ones as well when the Codex comes out. But second off, like, I get it. Maybe you don't own the Triumph. You don't want to use the Triumph. I get it. But we all were just playing Bloody Rose or Valorous Heart before. So I say we, as in not me, but my wife loves the Order of Our Martyred Lady, and the fact that she basically was forced to play Bloody Rose to be competitive was kind of a pain. So, you know, hopefully when the Codex comes out, there's options. Hopefully when the Index comes out, there's options for everybody. But, you know, the sisters themselves are pretty solid. We get some good damage. We get some cool stuff. The Cherub, after using Active Faith, you gain a Miracle Dice, then you remove the Cherub. So it kind of works like it did already, but pretty good. And each time a unit is destroyed by the Bears unit, you gain a Miracle Dice. So every time they take out a unit, you get another Miracle Dice with them, which is pretty great. It balances out pretty well. At the end of your command phase, for each objective marker you control that has one or more units from your army with this ability within range of it, you gain a Miracle Dice. So you're just going to be gaining them as you play, passively, to use. You're not going to have a bunch at the start, but as you continue to use units and lose units, you're going to gain more, which makes it really swingy in a way that I think is pretty cool. There are ducks outside the window. Then you have the Exorcist Conflagration Rockets, which are sick. I love these so much. And of course, they have heavy and indirect fire for the missile launcher as well. Very, very solid. 3d6 and d6 plus 2 attacks with 1 damage or d6 damage. It's very, very good. And of course, they have indirect fire. So if you have an indirect fire profile, basically, if you can't see it, these attacks can destroy enemy models in the target unit, even though they're not able to see them, which is very good. If no models in the target unit are visible, when you select the target, each time a model in the attacking unit makes an attack against the target using indirect fire weapon, subtract 1 from the hit roll. And the target has a benefit of cover. It's pretty good. And then, of course, we get to see Morven Walls. I think I said wall. Morven Walls. Been talking for a long time. Lance of Illumination. Devastating Wounds. Strike Sweep. It's pretty good. Then we have Rejoice the Fallen. When your opponent's shooting phase, just after a enemy unit, wow, I can't read right now, I'm losing it, has resolved its attacks. One Adeptus Sororitas unit from your army had 1 or more of its models destroyed as a result of the attacking unit's attacks. Your unit can shoot as if it were your shooting phase, but it must target only that enemy unit with doing so, and can only do so if that enemy unit is an eligible target. Pretty solid. I like it. I like it. Just, hey, shoot them as if it was your shooting phase to try and get revengeance for the loss of your sister. It's pretty good. Art is great, as usual. And then, of course, the Book of Martyrs, Requiem Infernal, and the Triumph of St. Catherine. I've heard all those are really good. The wife is reading Book of Martyrs right now, but pretty solid stuff. And then they have a little thing here that's like, hey, if you prefer shorter stories, Rose at War, Sister Battle Omnibus also exist. It'll be worth checking out. And they have audiobooks too, so there you go. Next, we have Votann. Votann is an army that I really wanted to get into, but I just decided not to. They were super broken when they first came out. They nerfed them pretty hard, and you didn't need a lot of models to make an army. But I spent the money that I would have spent buying Votann on more kill teams. So I didn't get into Votann. But there's a Votann kill team coming. So, I mean, you know, it balances out, right? Votann are cool. I like them a lot. The Void is in our veins. Their rules are pretty interesting here, too. If your army faction is Leagues of Votann, which of course it will be, each time an enemy unit destroys a Leagues of Votann unit from your army, that enemy unit gains 1 judgment token. Enemy unit can never have more than 2 judgment tokens. Any further judgment tokens a unit would gain beyond this are ignored. Each time a model from your army with this ability makes an attack that targets a unit that has 1 or more judgment tokens, till that model's attacks have been resolved, apply the relevant bonus from the table below. So, basically, each time an enemy unit destroys one of your units, you gain a judgment token on that enemy. And an enemy unit can never have more than 2. But if they have 1, you add 1 to the hit roll. If you had 2, then now we got a grudge to settle. That's a grudge in. Add 1 to the hit roll and add 1 to the... I saw a lot of people that were kind of frustrated by this because right now, Votann is kind of an elite army. And because of the way the points work, because of the nerfs that they got, you don't have a lot of different units. So how is this going to work? My hope is this means that Votann has become more of a horde army, and that it'll be more fun to play, not just because of that, but also because you're going to have more units. But it also means people have to buy more units, so it's kind of a toss-up. But I do like the grudge tokens a lot, the judgment tokens. I think they're very cool. I'm going to keep accidentally calling them grudge tokens. They have ruthless efficiency as their attachment rule. Select one unit from your opponent's army, and that one starts with 2 judgment tokens. But that's at the start of the battle, and if at the start of your command phase that enemy unit's destroyed, you gain a number of CP depending on how early in the battle you destroyed it. Only gain CP in this way once per battle, and CP gained in this way are an exception or an exemption to the core rules that limit the maximum number of CP you can gain per battle round to 1. So you can gain 3 if you kill it in the first or second, 2 if you gain it in third or fourth, 1 if you gain it in the fifth. Either way, even 1 CP extra for this that you get bonus is pretty good. And so being able to get 3 CP on the second turn, or even first turn if you can pull it off, we're going, hey, that guy right there, that's a grudging. That's pretty solid. I like it a lot. Now we have the Hearthkin Warriors. They have a lot of different weapon options. We're not going to go through them all here. Again, if you want to see somebody go through them all, Bricky did. There's a link to Bricky's channel in the description. Auspex Axis did, I'm sure. There's a link to his channel in the description too. But they're pretty good. Luck has, need keeps, toll earns. At the end of your command phase, if this unit's within range of an objective marker you control, that objective marker remains under your control even if you have no models within range. So it's sticky objectives. They have a pan-spectral scanner. Ranged weapons equipped by models in this bearer's unit have the ignores cover ability. A comms array. Each time you target the bearer's unit with a stratagem, roll 1d6. On a 5 up, you gain 1 CP. And Medipack, models in this bearer unit have the Feel No Pain 6 up. And they have a 4 up invuln. So pretty solid. Good little troops. Only 1 wound, but they hit pretty hard. Their movement is not super bad, though it is shorter. They are squats, right? They're gonna do what you need them to do, right? They're solid infantry, solid battle line infantry. Then the Hecate Land Fortress. I saw some people a little upset about this one because it's not quite as strong as it was in 9th, but it does have some cool stuff to it. After this model, it does have Deadly Demise, of course, too. So roll 6, it explodes. In your shooting phase, after this model is shot, select 1 enemy unit. It is scored 1 or more hits against this phase till the end of the phase. Each time a friendly model that disembarked from this transport this turn makes an attack that targets that enemy unit, you can re-roll the wound. Shoot with the Land Fortress, then you load everybody out, and when they attack that unit, they also get to re-roll. Or I say also, they get to re-roll the wound roll. It's pretty solid. Then, of course, they also have the ignores cover with a pan-spectral scanner. The cyclic cannon, not psychic, is pretty solid. The heavy magna rail is, of course, really good, and the warhead is incredible, but you only get the 1 shot. But honestly, the heavy magna rail with a d6 plus 6 damage, you may only get 1 shot per round, but that's pretty solid. And the Hecate warhead, yeah, you only get 1 shot per battle, but d6 plus 3 attacks, 2 damage each, and it's AP minus 2. I didn't even mention the heavy magna rail's AP minus 4. That thing is deadly. Then, of course, we have the SP Conversion Beamer. Beamers are a really cool thing that Votann has that I like a lot. They have the conversion rule. Each time it attacks made with this weapon, targets more than 12 inches from the bearer, an unmodified successful hit roll of 4 up scores a critical hit. So, do a lot of stuff with that. And they have sustained hits D3, which means they're getting crits. Oof. Ow. And then their reactive reprisal. During your opponent's shooting phase, just after an enemy unit that has 1 or more judgment tokens has resolved its attacks, 1 Leagues of Votann unit from your army that was selected as the target of 1 or more of the attacking unit's attacks can shoot as if it were your shooting phase, but it must target the enemy unit that just attacked it. It can only do so if that enemy is... Still, though, shoot again. They shot you, shoot again. Very good. And, of course, right now, there's not any books yet, but you can go check out Warhammer Plus, they say. So that's Votann. Pretty solid place. I know there's been a little bit of doom and gloom about it, but it's pretty good. Then we get World Eaters. Blood for the Blood God, skulls for the Skull Throne. Khorne cares not from whence the blood flows. I love the World Eaters. I don't love Angron, which is a weird thing about World Eaters, that I don't love their Primarch, but I love the chapter so much. Just the idea of these crazed berserkers in warbands because they can't even work together anymore, roaming around the galaxy, just fighting their way through. They're there for the slaughter, but they're not slaughtering you because they hate you. They're slaughtering you because they love it. And I have a weakness for it. I can't help it. I really, truly do. So, army rules. Blessed Corn. Love this. Roll 8d6 at the start of the fight. If you have any of the things we're about to get into, numbers-wise, you can do stuff. You can do that. Start at every round, roll 8d6. You get some doubles, you can do some cool stuff with those doubles. Did you not get some doubles? It's statistically impossible for you not to get at least one double. But, did you not get any doubles somehow with your loaded dice? That's a problem, but you should be fine. You can only activate each blessing once per round, but you can activate more than one per round as long as they're different blessings. And any unused dice are discarded. It applies to all units from your army with this ability until the end of the battle round. The blessings are, with any double, add 2 inches to the move characteristics of models in this unit. Boom, 2 inches. Go. Go. Attack them. I love it. I love the idea of Khorne being like, go. That guy. Get him. I don't know why Khorne sounds like that, but he probably would not sound like that. I like it. I like it. Wrathful Devotion. Any double. Models in this unit have Feel No Pain 6 up. Models in this unit already have Feel No Pain. Add 1 to the Feel No Pain, so it becomes a Feel No Pain 5 up. Martial Excellence. Double 3s. A double 3 ups, I guess. So if double 4s would also technically work, I guess, or double 5s or double 6s. Melee weapons equipped by models in this unit have the Sustained Hits 1 ability. Very good. Double 4 or any triple, Total Carnage. Each time a model in this unit is destroyed by a melee attack, if that model has not fought this phase, roll 1d6. On a 4-up, do not remove it from play. The destroyed model can fight after the attacking model's unit has finished making its attacks and is then removed from play. You don't get to kill me till I kill you. Then you get to kill me. I love Khorne so much. Warp Blades is double 5-ups or any triple. Melee weapons equipped by models in this unit have the Lethal Hits ability. And Unbridled Bloodlust is double 6s or triple 4-ups. The unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced. Yes. Very good. Each boon only lasts till the end of the battle round, of course, but they affect all the units in your army. Demonic allies not included, unfortunately. That would be great. I think it would be very Cornish to have all of the Khorne demons also get the ability. But it'd probably be really strong. So I get it. But then we get to see the Berserkers, which are, the Eviscerators, what we came here to see, right? 3 attacks, 3 ups, 8 strength, AP -2, 2 damage each. Wonderful. I saw some people that were like, but I liked the blood tithe and pay the points. And I get that. I think this is way more thematic, though. Throwing the 8 dice, because 8's Khorne's favorite number, and there you go. Here's your blessings. Pick one from these, whatever random number you got. So Blood Surge is each time an enemy unit selected to shoot. After that unit is finished making its attacks, if any models from this unit were destroyed as a result of those attacks, this unit can make a Blood Surge move. To do so, roll 1d6. This unit can be moved a number of inches up to the result, but this unit must finish that move as close as possible to the closest enemy unit, excluding aircraft. When doing so, those models can be moved within engagement range of that enemy unit. A unit cannot make a Blood Surge move while it is battle shocked. So, you decide, I'm going to shoot that guy. After I'm done attacking you, I lost some people. We're going in. We're getting in there. And I really, it feels so good. It's the idea of, blood. I'm coming for your blood. I just love it. It's so thematic. It's so fluffy. It's wonderful. They only have an objective control at 2. It's, they're just gonna get in there. They're gonna fight over those objectives. It's gonna be great. Then we have, of course, the angry boy, Angron himself, and he's got Seminarius and Spine Grinder. Of course, they're really strong, as you'd expect. He's got Deadly Demise D6. He's got Reborn in Blood. Each time you make a Blessed Corn roll, if this model is destroyed, you can use a 666. From that roll, he uses ability. If you do this, model's no longer destroyed. It's placed in reserve with his full wounds remaining. So he just comes back. You know, he's fine. He's back. Back again. Wrathful Presence. At the start of your charge phase, select one Wrathful Presence ability that are on the left. Until the start of your next charge phase, this model has the ability to either give a 6-inch aura for a charge roll to add 1 to the roll, which is very good for World Eaters, for an Infectious Rage, which is 6-inch aura, add 1 to the attack characters, melee weapons equipped by models in that unit. And if a unit has starting strength of 1, it's considered to be below its starting strength with lost 1 or more wounds. But they have to already be below starting strength. Got to read that part. And while a friendly World Eater model is within 6 inches of Angron, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, you reroll the hit roll. So very good support, very good strength, very solid. Man, he'd be a pain to paint, but looked really good when he was painted. The Demon Gore Cannon, 18-inch range, but D6 attacks. Hitting on 3-up, strength 14, AP -4, D6 plus 2 damage. Very, very solid. And then Blood Offering, any phase, 1 World Eater's unit from your army that was just destroyed, while it was within range of objective marker you controlled. Use this stratagem on that unit, even though it was destroyed. The objective marker remains under your control, so you can spend a CP to get a sticky objective. You don't get it for free like other people do, and you don't get the extra stuff that Chaos Demons do, but you can still go, hey, that's mine. The blood of my World Eaters is on that objective. That's mine. So I think they're in a pretty good spot. Of course, we have Karn and the Red Path. I love Karn the Betrayer. He's a great guy. And then there's also Angron the Red Angel. Yeah, World Eaters are in a pretty good spot. Next up, we have Admech, the Priesthood of Mars, the Adeptus Mechanicus. I'm going to be honest, I could not wrap my head around the way Adeptus Mechanicus played in 9th. I never really super tried, I guess is the way to put it. But I've watched a couple different battle reports that had Admech in it. I don't play Admech. Nobody I know plays Admech. But I watched some battle reports, and their stuff just, I could not understand it. I don't know if it was because how strong they were at the start of 9th, and then they got nerfed into the ground, or what. But I couldn't follow. This is way easier to me personally. Their Doctrina imperatives. Start of the battle round, you select one. At the end of the battle round, it's active for your army, and all units from your army that have the Doctrina imperatives ability get it. It's kind of like the doctrines, the combat doctrines for Space Marines. Ranged weapons with Protector have heavy, and each time a ranged attack targets this unit's within your deployment zone worsen the armor penetration characteristic of that attack by 1. So Protector really benefits you for staying in deployment and shooting from afar. Whereas Conqueror, ranged weapons equipped by this model, by models in this unit, have Assault. And each time a model in this unit makes a ranged attack, if the target of that attack is within your opponent's deployment zone, improve the armor pen by 1. So it benefits you to get in there and take them out before they can leave the zone. I like that it gives you 2 very different ways to play it. And the detachment rule is incredible. It's what? Rad Bombardment. On the first battle round, at the start of the first battle round, at the start, your opponent does not have time to move. For each enemy unit within your opponent's deployment zone, your opponent must decide whether that unit will take cover or stand firm. Unit takes cover until the end of that battle round, the first battle round. That unit's battle shocked. The unit stands firm. Roll 1d6 for that unit. On a 3-up, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. Whew. And then, from battle round 2 onwards, at the start of the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th battle rounds, roll 1d6 for each enemy unit within your opponent's deployment zone. On a 3-up, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. If you're fighting Admech, you can't stay in your deployment zone. You gotta move. You gotta move. Having the option to take Battle Shock is solid. It means you don't have to take damage, but it also means you're going to have a hard time taking objectives on turn 1. So, Admech comes out the gate swinging. And some people are a little upset about some of these data sheets. I don't know enough about Admech data sheets from before to be upset myself. Again, I watched both Bricky's and Auspex's coverage of it. They have lost some stuff. But some of the stuff they have is really solid, like Rad Saturation. While an enemy unit, excluding vehicles, is within 3 inches of this unit, subtract 1 from the objective control characteristics of models in that unit. So if you're fighting over an objective, you're probably going to take that objective. They also have Advanced Data Tether. Each time you select the bearer's unit as the target of a stratagem, roll 1d6. On a 5-up, you gain no CP. That's pretty cool. And ranged weapons equipped by this model in the bearer's unit have the Ignores Cover ability, and they have a 6-up invuln. So the Vanguard are pretty solid. I know, again, they're not as good as they were, but pretty solid rules. They're not too bad. And then we have Sicarian Ruststalkers get the optimized gate, add 1 to advance and charge rolls made for this unit. While this unit is within 6 inches of 1 or more friendly Adeptus Mechanicus battle line units, add 2 to advance and charge rolls made for this unit instead. So your Sicarians are going to be able to get in there a lot faster. And then we have Call himself. Again, I don't know a lot about how strong Call was before, because AdMech is just a big blind spot for me in a lot of ways. But this one seems a little weak to me. He's only got 10 wounds. The Solar Atomizer is okay. It's got Melta D3, so that's really good. But he's got a lot of different melee options, and I don't know. And 2 of them have extra attacks. So, like, you're going to be hitting a lot. Then we get your 4 on the Axe, extra attacks from the Arc Scourge, and if you can get more than 1 extra attack, which we don't know yet, I assume you can based on the way that read, you'll get 2d6 attacks from the Mechadendrite Hive. But his auras are pretty solid, I guess. It just doesn't... I was looking for, like, one more thing that kind of made Call shine, you know? The Canticles are pretty good. The reroll hit roll aura, the reroll leadership or battle shock aura, and the stealth within 6 inches, that's pretty good. He's got a Mechanics Bodyguard. While he's within 3 inches of 1 or more other friendly Adeptus Mechanicus units, he gains the Lone Operative, much like Gilliman. He self-repairs, so he gains D3 lost wounds. I think with how low wound count he has, it might have been better to give him, like, I don't know, just D3 plus 1 or D3 plus 2 lost wounds. But maybe Call's not supposed to be super strong on his own. Maybe that's my lack of knowledge showing. I feel he's a little weak here. The Eradication Beamer is really good. 36 range, D6 attacks, 2 damage, minus 2 AP. That's a good weapon. And then they get Aggressor Imperative. The Skitarii feel the press of Invisible Hand as the Machine God drives them forward. During a charge phase, 1 Skitarii unit from your army that advanced this turn until the end of the turn, your unit is eligible to declare a charge, even though it advanced. Only use the stratagem if the Conqueror Imperative is active. And then you have the Bulwark one for the Protector Imperative, which is during your opponent's shooting phase, just after the selected target, 1 Skitarii unit from your army that was selected as a target gains a 4-up invuln. Very, very solid. Great looking art here. I'm guessing that's supposed to be Vashtor, or some kind of dark mechanicum. But Adeptus Mechanicus or the Omniscience Chosen seem to be their recommendations. Again, I'm not huge on AdMech already. I don't know a lot about them, as it were. They are my big blind spot in 9th edition, so I've never played against them. Let me know how you feel about the AdMech changes, please, in the comment section down below.